ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time you watch this video. Today is Menstrual Health Day, and I thought it an excellent opportunity to talk about the barriers to menstrual hygiene management in Kenya and the simple things that we can do to improve on this. So to start us off, you might know that over 800 million women and girls worldwide menstruate every day. In Kenya, according to the 2019 census, we have a population of 47.5 million. A half of this, which is 50.5%, is female. You guessed right. A significant number of that female population is of reproductive age. What you might also know is that these women face untold barriers, especially those from informal settlements and rural areas during this time of the month. You might also know that COVID-19 has exacerbated these barriers. And on the brighter side is that in Kenya, we now have a menstrual health management policy. Implementation is definitely a totally different conversation that we'll be having. So which barriers are these? Number one barrier to menstrual health hygiene in Kenya is stigma around menses, which means that most of the girls actually learn about menses from friends or from school because they are uncomfortable to talk about these things with their parents or at home, which means that there's a lot of lack of menstrual health hygiene education amongst girls and women. This lack of menstrual health education could be the reason why boys, for example, will stigmatize and make girls, for example, who for the first time stain their clothes in school, the laughing stock, maybe for a period of time. And the impact on girls for this is serious because it results in self-esteem issues. So number one barrier is social stigma and taboos around menstrual health, which make it very difficult for people to have menses conversations. Number two barrier is a lack of sanitary facilities. By this I mean toilets, by this I mean hand washing facilities, especially in rural areas and informal settlements. So I know the standard thing is to design toilets that take care of males, females, and persons with disability. But even where these are provided for female facilities, it is not automatic that workplaces or schools think of, for example, menstrual waste disposal mechanisms or facilities within the female facilities. Number three barrier that's very common in Kenya is a lack of access to menstrual health products. By this I mean sanitary pads, tampons, think of menstrual cups and such. So and availability may not be an issue even commercially speaking because these products are available. The issue mostly, especially with low income girls and women, is affordability. So yes, we have pads and tampons and everything in every shop and supermarket across Kenya, but are these affordable? And with COVID-19, you know that especially in informal settlements, people have to choose between using their daily income. We are talking about maybe a maximum of 500 bob a day. You have to make a decision between buying food for your family and maybe you have three teenage girls, and a pack of pads goes for, say, 200 bob, less or minus. So you have to choose between buying food and getting sanitary products for your girls. And this dilemma is what leads to us seeing features on national TV where girls are using blankets and leaves and skins. Really an issue of even what happens to the dignity of these women and girls at this time of the month. So yes, we know we have a menstrual health management policy in Kenya. We know that there are these barriers that we've talked about, but it's not enough to know that there are barriers. What can we do? What can we do to minimize or say eliminate completely these challenges? I think number one thing we can do is educate women, girls, and even boys about menstrual health and menstrual health hygiene. And you had me right. I said boys and girls because for the stigma around menses to die down and the taboo sort of treatment to reduce, everybody has to be informed. Everybody has to be made to understand what is happening around this time for girls and women so that they can offer their support, so that they can treat them with the dignity that they need and get the support they need at this time. So number one thing to do is offer menstrual health and hygiene awareness sessions. And this doesn't have to be done necessarily by the government. I think even organizations can take up this as part of their CSR activities and just go to the nearest schools, to their offices or farms and educate people about menstrual health and hygiene. And number two thing we can do is design infrastructure that is female friendly. By this, especially around this, I'm thinking about specialists in the built environment. I'm talking about engineers, urban designers, water and sanitation specialists. So when you plan for your city or for a building or for an office, for a school, provide, for example, toilets, yes. Provide the male-female persons with disability facilities, yes. But within the female facilities, think beyond basics. Think hand washing, think the dignity and privacy that women and girls require at this time. Yeah, yeah. And then apart from that, a common thing lacking in most, especially schools and especially primary schools and public toilets, is lack of menstrual waste disposal mechanisms, whether you're thinking bins or whatever design allows. These are provisions that are basic because whether we are talking about a public or private toilet or a school or an office facility, in COVID-19 era or not, I mean, menses don't take a break because there's a pandemic. So very important that we have facilities that are female friendly. Number three thing we can do is improve access to menstrual health hygiene products. We talked about earlier sanitary pads and tampons and menstrual cups and such. And I'll repeat myself here for emphasis that in Kenya, mostly the issue is not availability because these products are available. The major issue is affordability, especially for women and girls in rural areas and informal settlements. So very important that These things are not only accessible but also affordable, and I know there's a lot of effort into availing such products. I'm thinking about efforts by Plan International, Inua Dada Foundation and Janet Mbugua, very good work, and I think many more organizations that perhaps I haven't mentioned are into this, and that's good. But for government, and especially with the making or the coming of the menstrual health hygiene management policy, what's important is to make these products free. I mean, if we are able to provide, for example, condoms in campuses, why would we not be able to provide something as basic as sanitary products for women and girls across Kenya? Remember, we said 50.5% of our population is female, and out of this half, a significant number are of reproductive age. So very important that we make menstrual health hygiene products accessible and affordable, that we design infrastructure that is female friendly, and that we offer menstrual health hygiene awareness sessions or education. Again, menses do not take a break because there's a pandemic. Menses do not take a break because you're from a low-income area like an informal settlement. Menses do not take a break because you don't have access to a toilet where you can change as a lady with dignity and comfortably. Menses do not take a break because you do not know what you're supposed to do for lack of awareness. They are here with us, and sorting out menstrual health hygiene issues translates to better health for our women and girls. No missing of classes, no missing of going to work because you do not have the provisions. And that translates not just to better education, but also to better participation of women in economic development overall. So that's it on this conversation. I have been your sociologist, Lydia Njero, and I'll see you next.